In the autumn of 1923, as the first frost touched the streets of Berlin, a woman stepped from her door carrying a wicker basket heavy with banknotes. Not jewels, not food, just paper, stacked to the brim. By the time she reached the bakery, her money had lost half its value. The price of bread had doubled between sunrise and noon, and by nightfall it would double again. This was not a bad day in the market. This was life in a country where money itself had become meaningless. Germany, reeling from the weight of war reparations and a shattered economy, had slipped into hyperinflation so wild that even arithmetic struggled to keep pace. At 10 a.m., shopkeepers scratched out one price on chalkboards and replaced it with another, then another, until the board was white with smears. Workers, paid daily in bundles of bills, raced from the factory floor to their wives waiting outside. The notes were shoved into prams and sacks rushed to markets before they withered into worthlessness. Children played with stacks of marks as if they were blocks. Men kindled stoves with money because coal cost too much. The paper was plentiful, the goods scarce, and hunger gnawed at every household. Banks printed notes in frantic denominations. Millions, billions, then trillions. A postage stamp cost millions of marks. A piano, billions. Housewives bartered dresses for potatoes, wedding rings for butter. The government tried to reassure the people, but their reassurances were hollow echoes, drowned by the sound of presses churning day and night, flooding the nation with paper that could buy nothing. The richer you were in the morning, the poorer you became by the evening. In Cologne, at 2 a.m., black markets thrived in alleyways under dim lantern light. There, foreign currencies, dollars, francs, pounds, passed hand to hand like lifeboats in a sinking ship. Farmers demanded barter, not cash, trading grain only for tangible goods. The middle class, once secure, found their savings annihilated, their pensions worthless, their future stripped bare. Teachers, clerks, engineers, people who had spent decades building security, now queued for scraps, their life's work reduced to ash by numbers on paper. The political consequences were just as volatile. Crowds filled the streets, shouting, furious, desperate. Trust in the government dissolved, replaced by suspicion, anger, and the search for scapegoats. Extremist voices found a willing audience, promising order where chaos reigned. In beer halls and basements, whispers of revolution thickened into speeches that electrified the hopeless. The republic, already fragile, now trembled on foundations cracked by hunger and fear. And yet, even in this nightmare, life went on in strange rhythms. Families adapted. Children learned to count not in tens or hundreds, but in millions and billions. Shopkeepers carried scales, not registers, weighing money like grain. Stories circulated of wheelbarrows filled with cash left unattended in the street, the barrel stolen, but the money left behind. Every day was absurd, surreal, but also deadly serious, as each miscalculation meant another night without food. By late 1923, the breaking point arrived. The mark collapsed beyond measure, and entire towns functioned solely on barter or foreign currency. Then came the reform. Abrupt, almost miraculous. A new currency, the Renton mark, was introduced, backed not by gold, but by land and industrial assets. Overnight, the printing presses stopped. Prices froze. The madness halted not with a crash, but with a sudden, eerie stillness. After years of living in chaos, the silence was deafening. But the scars remained. The memory of money is ash, of savings turned to dust, of children playing with stacks of banknotes thicker than bricks. It never faded. It lingered in every conversation, every vote, every hesitation when promises were made. Hyperinflation had not just emptied wallets, it had emptied trust, eroded certainty, and rewritten what survival meant. And though the marks themselves became collector's relics, their lesson was carved deeper than ink, a warning born from the moment when money itself ceased to matter, and a nation learned what it meant to live with nothing.